Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to sift through the noise and pull out the key ideas you can use. Today, we're digging into a really influential book, Harv Eker's Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And our mission really is to get under the hood of this idea, how our internal world, our subconscious money beliefs, actually shapes our financial situation. Eker puts it pretty simply, but it's deep. Your inner world reflects your outer world. Sounds straightforward, maybe? But the implications are huge.
Yeah, and that's what makes this deep dive interesting, I think. There are tons of books on like how to invest or budget, but Eker really goes into the psychology. We're going to explore how these beliefs, often set way back in childhood, can act like a hidden script for your money life. It might even predict things in ways you wouldn't expect.
Okay, let's unpack that. Starting with a really core concept he introduces, the money blueprint. He basically says this is your subconscious, deep down set of beliefs and feelings about money, almost like a financial thermostat, setting your wealth level, no matter what you consciously try to do. And what's really interesting is how he says this blueprint gets programmed. It's not random. It comes from childhood stuff, what our parents taught us, maybe even just observed.
Yeah.
And wider society, too.
That's a really powerful idea, especially when you hear Eker's claim about its predictive power. He famously says something like, "Give me 5 minutes and I can predict your financial future just by talking to you." He's basically saying your internal story isn't just thoughts, it's like actively creating your financial results, which really makes you, the listener, think, doesn't it? What were your first experiences with money? What messages did you pick up about wealth or saving or spending? Those early years, they're not just memories, they're like active programs running now.
Right, so if the money blueprint is the thermostat setting, then the wealth files are kind of the specific software running it. Eker gets really specific here. He lays out 17 distinct ways of thinking that he saw separating rich people from, well, poor or middle-class folks. And the contrasts are pretty stark. Like, one is, rich people believe I create my life, whereas others tend to believe life happens to me. That's a massive difference in agency, isn't it?
It absolutely is. These wealth files, they really tap into something psychologists call locus of control. Do you feel like you're driving the bus, or are you just a passenger being driven by external stuff? And Eker shows how this viewpoint directly impacts money. If you think you're the creator, you look for ways to make things happen. If you feel like a victim, maybe you look for reasons why things can't happen. And it affects how you see things, too, like opportunities versus obstacles. The wealthy mindset tends to spot opportunity even in problems, while the other mindset might just see the roadblock, Classic framing.
Yeah, that framing difference is huge. And this connection, the one between mindset and actual action, is crucial in the book. Eker really pushes the idea of taking total responsibility for your finances, successes and failures. The wealthy, he argues, don't spend energy blaming the economy or the government or their boss or whatever. They own their results. And practically speaking, he offers a system. It's called the JRS money management system. Lots of people find it super simple but effective. Doesn't matter how much you earn. It's about dividing your income into specific jars or accounts. Necessities, savings, education, play, a financial freedom account, and giving.
Which sort of raises a question, doesn't it? If the book's so focused on mindset, why bring in a practical system like J's? Well, it's because these small, consistent habits actually reinforce the wealthy mindset. It's not just about moving money around. It's about training yourself to think differently about money's purpose, where it goes, why it goes there. So these habits, they become like the physical proof of the internal shift. Makes the mindset real, tangible.
That's a great way to put it. And speaking of internal shifts, Eker is also big on conditioning your mind, specifically using daily affirmations. He believes these can actually help rewire your financial thinking at a subconscious level. He gives examples like saying, I have a millionaire mind, or I create my life. I am fully responsible for my financial success. It's like you're trying to consciously overwrite the old programming, update your mental software.
Exactly. The whole point of affirmations like these is to systematically chip away at those old, deep beliefs that might be limiting you. It's kind of like cognitive restructuring, really. You actively challenge the negative thought patterns and replace them with empowering ones. By repeating them, you're essentially training your brain to align with abundance, maybe counteracting years of negative input.
Okay, so looking at the book overall, what are its strengths? Our sources point out it's really accessible, easy to grasp. Eker uses relatable stories, examples that seem to resonate with a lot of people. Plus, it cleverly blends that mindset stuff with practical habits like the JRs we mentioned. And yeah, people definitely report finding it super motivational. Like it genuinely shifts how they think, not just another dry finance book.
True. But for a balanced view, we should touch on the criticisms too. Some people do find the tone a bit repetitive, maybe a little overly enthusiastic or salesy sometimes. Especially the mentions of his workshops and seminars can rub some people the wrong way. And while the mindset focus is the main point, it's also a limitation for some. It doesn't give you like detailed stock picking advice or complex business strategies. It's much more focused on you and your thinking rather than the external market mechanics.
Right. So the final verdict, based on our review, it really boils down to this. If you buy into the idea that mindset is, say, half the battle, or maybe even more when it comes to building wealth, and let's be honest, a lot of successful people seem to think it is, then this book is often seen as a real gem. It's not primarily about the nuts and bolts of investing, not directly anyway. It's fundamentally about, well, reprogramming your mind for wealth, winning that internal game first.
Yeah, absolutely. And connecting that back to you, our listener, if you've ever felt stuck with money or had limiting thoughts about what you can achieve financially, or maybe you just wondered why your efforts aren't quite paying off the way you hoped. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind offers a pretty compelling framework. It encourages you to look inside, to realize that maybe the biggest roadblock isn't out there somewhere, but it's actually within your own head.
So wrapping this up, what's a big takeaway? I think it's the sheer power of that internal money blueprint. It's always running in the background, guiding your choices, whether you're aware of it or not.
Which leads to a final thought. If it's true that change your mindset, change your money, then maybe ask yourself, what specific belief about money, just one, might you need to challenge or reprogram in your own inner world right now? What's one piece of your personal money blueprint that might be holding you back, that might need a serious rethink to unlock what's next for you financially? Could be something from way back or just a story you tell yourself now about what's possible.